there has been a journey put in place that we don't look the way we do business as a transaction. It is almost a responsibility. Can you imagine with 60,000 products, with more than 100,000 customers, thousands of suppliers, we have a responsibility to make sure that everything going through or coming into our production and going out of our production and how the product is used and how it's the end of life, how can we make the linear more circular? That is the responsibility that more and more global companies are doing.
Companies need to advance the Sustainable Development Goals, and I think it's clear to most businesses that if they don't, they're going to be left behind. Bringing it to life can be more difficult than just a commitment to action from the CEO.
So in our sustainable business strategy, we've identified 4 key priorities: building trust, climate change, economic inclusion, and young people.
And the first one is our significant commitment to empowering people through education and skills development through our world-class initiatives. The second one is around equality. So a huge push for Deloitte internally around inclusion and diversity. And then thirdly is our sustainability targets.
The 2 that I would call out specifically are climate change and inequalities. Unfortunately, we're still really not on track when it comes to meeting those goals.
Climate is, of course, becoming a bigger and bigger issue for the financial sector. You hear the Bank of Canada and other central banks identifying it as a risk to the financial system and to the economy as a whole, and we're becoming more and more attuned to that as a reality, and I think that will continue.
It's really about how do we take it beyond just aligning to the SDGs and actually taking it, 7 steps further to look at the indicators and really be able to measure and track our impact against it. But also a huge piece of this that often goes missed is how we're empowering and supporting the nonprofits and the organizations that we work with on the ground.
One that's near and dear to my heart is number 12 around responsible consumption and production. I think this is an area where all Canadians can sort of vote with their dollars and make responsible purchasing decisions that will then reinforce corporations to make more responsible decisions in how they source raw materials and how they produce their goods, package those goods, and then bring them to market.
The one that I think is really actually going to catalyze and accelerate our progress, and one that often goes unnoticed and perhaps isn't as sexy, is 17 Partnership for the Goals. Like I said, it's the co-creation and collaboration that's actually going to make this work.